We all know that what we eat is important for our blood sugar. But did you know that how we eat it also matters? In my last video, I showed you what happened to my blood sugar after I ate pounded yam and egusi soup the traditional way. So if you're wondering if there's a way to eat this delicious meal without your blood sugar going through the roof, then this video is for you. Hi, my name is Chris. I'm a pharmacist and a certified diabetes educator. Welcome to Glucose Beacon. In my last video, I tracked my blood sugar for several hours after eating pounded yam and egusi soup, and the result was quite surprising. You can watch the video here if you haven't seen it. As I mentioned in that video, the goal of this channel is not to stop eating a culture of foods, but to eat them in a way that we can still enjoy, that is good for our health, and can prevent diabetes. And one of the ways we can achieve this is using a technique called the plate method. And this is what we're going to talk about today. Please note that this video is for educational purposes only and not medical advice. For personalized nutrition health guidance, please consult with a dietitian. The plate method is a way of arranging foods on your plate that reduces the portion of starchy foods, fat, and protein while prioritizing vegetables. It's a method recommended by nutrition experts and organizations like the American Diabetes Association and Health Canada to help us create healthy, balanced meals. Here's how it works. We start with an empty plate. Half of this plate is reserved for non-starchy vegetables and fruit. Think of ugu, spinach, bitter leaf, kale, peppers, or tomatoes. Now let's divide the other half of the plate into two. A quarter for starchy foods such as yam, rice, fufu, plantain, and the other quarter for proteins such as beef, fish, or chicken. Now, you're probably thinking that the amount of starch and protein is much less than what you would usually eat. But this is actually one of the benefits of the plate method. It naturally controls your portion size, which helps with weight management because you're eating fewer calories. In addition, you're also eating more vegetables, which keeps you full, slows down digestion, and reduces how fast and high your blood sugar goes after eating. It also helps to lower your cholesterol levels and can improve your blood pressure. So the plate method holds many benefits for you, even if you don't have high blood sugar. Now, let's address the big question. Can the plate method work for pounded yam and egusi soup? Egusi soup, just like many other African foods, does not fit neatly into the plate method. Egusi is made from seeds that are naturally high in fat, and it also contains protein. In many traditional preparations, egusi makes up more of the soup than vegetables. So if we try to fill half of the plate with egusi soup, we may control blood sugar, but we will also be eating a lot of fat and calories. And that means that while trying to solve one problem, we might be creating another. So here's the key point. The plate method itself isn't wrong, but applying it without adapting it to Nigerian or African food can be difficult or even unrealistic. Also, how many of us are going to eat egusi soup and add a separate plate of vegetables to the side? I won't. It's just not how we eat it. The best lifestyle change is one you can maintain without constant willpower. So if we want a method that people can actually follow, we need to adapt it, not abandon it. And that brings us to today's experiment. Can we eat pounded yam and egusi soup in a way that follows the spirit of the plate method without losing the joy of the meal? Let's head to my kitchen and I'll show you. Welcome back to my kitchen. This is what we've planned for today. I will eat a meal of pounded yam and egusi soup like I did in the last video, but with some changes so that it fits the plate method. Then I'll track my blood sugar for 5 hours and I'll compare the results to the traditional meal from the last video just to see if it makes any difference to my blood sugar. Now, this is what your traditional egusi soup looks like. Like I mentioned, it has more egusi than vegetables in it, which means more fat. So in the spirit of the plate method, I added a lot more vegetables. You can use whatever vegetables you like. It could be spinach, kale, or ugu. The goal is for the egusi soup to look more green than orange. And this is what the finished plate looks like. Half of the plate is egusi soup, but with a lot more vegetables. A quarter is for protein. I've chosen fish because I like fish. And the last quarter is for the pounded yam. The amount of pounded yam is much smaller than a typical portion so that it fits into its quarter of the plate. The pounded yam actually ended up being about half of what I ate the last time. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, well, she said quarter of the plate. She didn't say how high. So in case you were thinking of making yours as high as Mount Kilimanjaro, don't. I'm watching you. Just kidding. But if you do want to stack things high on your plate, please make it the veggies. Now, one last thing to do before we dig in is to check my blood sugar, just to know where we're starting from. And then compare it with the continuous glucose monitor, which is what I will use to track my blood sugar. So my blood sugar is 4.6, and this is my blood sugar monitor. And the continuous glucose monitor says 4.7. And this is what I'll be using to track my blood sugar, because as you can see, they're pretty close. With that out of the way, let's eat. Finally. In case you're wondering if using the plate method will make you full, I can tell you right now that I feel very full. Also, even with the added vegetables, the egusi soup was still delicious. So now we wait, and I'll show you my blood sugar at 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, and then just track for a total of 5 hours. See you soon. So it's been 30 minutes and my blood sugar is 5.2. In the last video, after 30 minutes, my blood sugar was 6.3. So we're actually lower than the last time. Let's see what it is after 1 hour. Okay, so it's been 1 hour since I finished the meal and my blood sugar is 5.6. Last time at 1 hour, it was 8.3. So this is definitely getting interesting. But we're not done yet though. See you again in another hour. The last time I ate this meal, my blood sugar at this time was 10.3. And I remember just wanting to get up and run. So fingers crossed, let's see what it is now. Wow, look at that, 4.0. This is amazing, much lower than the last time. In fact, being below 7.8 2 hours after a meal is exactly what we want to see in people without diabetes. So using the plate method definitely helped. Just like the last time, I will keep tracking my blood sugar for a few more hours and then I'll show you the results. See you then. Welcome back. Let's look at the results. Here is a graph of my blood sugar throughout the experiment. My blood sugar before the meal was 4.7. It went up slightly to 5.6 after 1 hour. At 2 hours, it was back down to 4.0 and stayed around that level for the next 2 hours. We decided to stop tracking after 4 hours because there wasn't much change. Just to compare, this is what my readings looked like the last time I ate pounded yam and egusi soup the usual way. The difference is very obvious. In the traditional way, my blood sugar went much higher and stayed high for much longer. So by letting the plate method control how much starch and vegetables I ate, my body had a much healthier reaction to the food than when I simply ate it the way most people do. By the way, I repeated this experiment a second time because I felt it was too good to be true. For the second experiment, I tracked my own blood sugar and my husband's too. He ate the same meal using the plate method. And what was surprising was that his blood sugar barely moved. The plate method truly works. Now, keep in mind that everybody's different. Your own blood sugar readings could be lower or higher than mine, but the plate method is still beneficial for everyone. And to be honest, I feel good about being able to enjoy pounded yam and egusi soup without worrying about what it's doing to my health. What we eat is one of the major ways to prevent diabetes. So I hope that the plate method is something you'd like to try for yourself, not just for pounded yam, but for most of your meals. And if you already have diabetes or pre-diabetes, you can use it to keep your blood sugar in check. And with that, we come to the end of the pounded yam experiment. But it's not the end. I will be testing more meals on this channel, and will continue to share tips on how to prevent diabetes. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Glucose Beacon and share with your friends and family. Until next time, thank you for watching and stay healthy.